some tight parking spots in my time, but this is really tight. This backing is really challenging. With that fence right there, you don't have too much room to maneuver. You have to do it perfectly in between tractors that are sticking out from the loading docks, So yeah, it took me, I don't know, like 10 minutes or so. It took me a while, but there's a guy here who's been at it for over 30 minutes while I'm getting loaded, and he's I don't blame him. Like, they're asking him to get in between this really tight spot with a with the sleeper cab, and the day cabs and the yard jockeys seem to do it a lot easier, but us sleeper cabs, it's challenging. What's going on, my people? So this week was a pretty good week. I finally hit 2,500 miles. I ended the week with 2,573, I think, around there. It started off bumpy though. It started off with a bunch of us drivers doing local loads, and the local loads were mainly for the day cab drivers, but they had too many local loads here in Southern California, so they had us doing a couple loads each. One of my buddies got 4 local loads, which is a lot. It eats into your driving time big time. The local drivers will usually get like 2-3 loads a day. So when they put 2 loads on you, you end up spending most of the day doing those 2 loads. That will minimize your distance driving, where you potentially can make the miles and make the money. Anyway, for me, started off with 2 local loads, and then I got a long load, and I was going mostly to Northern Cal, back and forth from Southern California. I went all the way till Saturday this week, and I'm going to be switching my schedule from Monday through Friday to Tuesday to Saturday, and so it all worked out. I ended up getting a lot of miles, some long assignments, and I ended the week well. Some of the guys couldn't handle the local loads. They got upset, and I feel like it just comes with the territory. It's total BS, but at the same time, you got to do what the company needs. So you're a company driver, you got to do what they ask you to do. So the assignments they gave me, just knock it out as quickly as possible and ask them for longer runs, and they usually accommodate after you help them out. So it worked out. I know that there are people that are quitting the company, because they think it's total BS. They signed up for regional long distance runs, and they're giving them 20-mile, 30-mile runs, or sometimes like 10-mile runs, and you sit at the receivers or the shippers, and you're doing live loads or live unloads, and it takes forever, and most of your day's gone. And on that note, I think the people that are in charge, they need to make sure that they take care of the drivers, because in the long run, if you take care of the drivers without compromising the company's goals, you're going to get happy drivers, and you're going to get good returns, good results, right? But if they keep screwing over these regional drivers with local loads, people aren't going to put up with it, because you don't make money doing that. The day cab drivers, they'll get paid per hour, and so that's suited for them, to sit around and wait for the loading and unloading and all that stuff. We do loading and unloading, but for the most part, regional drivers, we have to get the distance, or else we won't make good money. A lot of times you have a lot of these decision makers, and they're in it for themselves. They have to hit their numbers, they have to make sure that they look great in front of the company, but they're not playing the long game. The long game is that you make the drivers happy, and you'll have longevity, and it won't hurt you by taking care of the regional drivers. Now, some people, they got frustrated, and everybody has a breaking point. Like, it's got to make sense for you, right? And they quit because they're not given what they were promised, basically. And I don't blame them, but at the same time, you have to see what's out there. Is this the best gig for you? If it's not the best gig for you, you got to find the best gig for you. But I think from what I've seen, there's no perfect company out there, and your situation, you have to maximize your situation, right? But at the same time, you're gonna deal with BS. Every company has it. Every company has it. I don't know of any driver that has a perfect situation for themselves, right? I know that like a lot of owner operators and whatnot, they get themselves in a good situation. They can make it work. But for company drivers, it's different. You're basically a company employee, so you have to play by their rules, right? And that's what I'm saying, is that their rules, it's for their benefit to make sure that the drivers are taken care of. They get their miles, and they're happy. And the more turnaround you have, the more people you have to rehire and retrain and get them acclimated to the account. It's not good. It basically the company's shooting themselves in the foot. And I know that a lot of the new drivers that started with the account, they hit their 3-month mark, and a lot of times a lot of windows open up at 3 months, 6 months, and a year. And they can go to other companies because your training period basically is over, and you're basically a professional driver that should know what you're doing, out on the road. But the more new drivers that the company is getting, you're starting all over again, and it eats into your costs and your efficiency, and the company is hurting themselves by doing that. So I would encourage, dispatchers, DTLs, planners, whoever, try to retain your good drivers, because you lose a lot of good drivers, because a lot of the good drivers, they kind of carry themselves with a little bit of attitude, and they know that they can go somewhere else and get another gig. So keep those drivers, do what you can to keep those drivers, keep them happy, give them the miles, and make sure that you get everything squared away so that the local cab drivers are doing what they need to do. The day cab drivers, they're doing what they need to do, and the regional drivers are doing their job description, right? And that way you'll have happy drivers all the way around. Now, I heard of a situation in our account where one of the drivers was driving local when he was supposed to be driving regional, and then when he was at one of the stops that he went to, he met another guy who doesn't have anything to do with the account, and he's an OTR driver, and they gave him a regional or a long distance load. And the guy just, he lost it because it doesn't make any sense. Why doesn't the company give them the regional like he signed up for, and they outsource it to another driver, right? Yeah, it didn't make any sense, but that's what it is. I mean, the company's not perfect, but in an imperfect situation, what do you do, right? Sometimes you have to stick it out and play the long game. A lot of people get short-sighted and they get frustrated and then they leave. And for the driver as well, it's probably not a good thing, because there's no guarantee, unless you've got something else already lined up, there's no guarantee that the next gig is going to be free of problems. Most likely it's going to have its own set of issues, right? And like for me, it hasn't been perfect. For my personal goals that I want to hit, there's hiccups all the time. There's delays, there's miscommunication, there's assignments that they don't make sense. Sometimes I get assignments that have already been completed, and I go there and the load's not there because they say, oh, that was delivered last Wednesday, and you get those hiccups. And but at the same time, just because I want to stick it out and make it work for me, it doesn't mean you have to make it work for you, right? Everybody has their own breaking point. Everybody has their time when they say that's enough, I'm done with it, and that's a decision everybody makes individually, right? But having been around the block a few times with corporations and stuff, I know that there is no perfect organization out there, and so make the most of it, and make sure that you're doing what you need to do and you're in the best gig that you can be in at that time. Okay, well, to those people that left, I wish you all the best, and hope you guys find what you're looking for. But for me, I'm sticking it out with Schneider, despite their flaws and issues. But still, I think the pros outweigh the cons. I'm doing pretty well for myself. I'm making decent money, a lot more than what was posted on the job description when I signed up, so I'm happy here. It's not a perfect situation. There's a lot of frustration, but you need a big capacity. You need to enlarge your capacity, and don't let little things wig you out. And when you take a step back and look at it, they are little things. It's not the end of the world. Doing some local deliveries and things like that. It's not cool, but at the end of the day, there's no perfect job out there. Okay, so one of the things that was a little bit frustrating for me is when I'm driving down past Pasadena eastbound on the 210 freeway, there is a stretch of road where the lanes get super narrow, right? And usually when I drive through that area, there's some kind of traffic during that. It's a 5-6 lane freeway, but the lanes are super narrow. And so when you're going through that, when the other trucks pass next to you, you're like talking about inches between your two side view mirrors touching each other. And I've had a lot of close calls. So it's before you hit Arcadia, in between Pasadena and Arcadia right there. And some of you drivers, you guys drive through there and you guys know what I'm talking about, but it gets pretty hairy. So you have to make sure that you're not touching the other trucks as you drive by. Which brings me to another point. I was headed up north on the 5 freeway, and I was going up the Grapevine towards Lebec, near the Fraser Mountain exit right there, and going uphill and going kind of slow because I was heavy. but fast enough to stay with pretty much the truck traffic that was going up that road. And as I was going, there was probably a little bit of room between me and the other truck in front of me on the lane next to it, right? Some guy, some idiot, decided that he was in a rush, and he was probably, obviously he was lighter and he was going faster. He came up right alongside me and started tailgating the truck in front of him. And when his truck wasn't clear, he started weaving back and forth, trying to get into the lane, basically saying, make room for him. So he's telling me, slow down, and let him in, basically, right? At that point, I checked around me, and behind me, there's another truck coming right behind me. And when you're going uphill, you don't want to slow down, because when you slow down, it kills all your momentum. And then to actually build back your speed up, it's nearly impossible. So when you're heavy, you slow down and you lose that momentum, and you're going up. You start slowing down, the truck behind you also has to slow down, right? Or else he's gonna run into you, right? And so you don't want to do that. But this truck next to me started swerving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trying to get in. And I looked at the truck, and I'm like thinking, this guy's crazy, right? What's he doing? There's no room to make a lane change in front of me, right? And before I could react, he brushed up against me, and his trailer bumps my side view mirror, right? There was no damage. There was not even a scratch or anything, but he pushed my mirror in. He pushed my side view mirror in, so I couldn't see. Then at that point, I don't have eyes on the right side of my truck, right? Yeah, I was livid. I was upset because the guy created a really dangerous situation, and basically made me have to pull over to the side of the road, emergency lights on, and then push out my mirror again, right? When I went to a stop, I checked everything out. No, there's no damage, nothing. But he basically hit my truck. And during that time, I had some choice words and said some stuff as he backed away because he couldn't get in. After he touched my truck, he backed away and then went around like this way, right? And during that whole time, I got pretty angry. Anyway, those situations, they don't faze me as much in terms of like fear or anything like that. It just gets me upset that people have to drive like that. It's like, I mean, how much of a difference are you going to make? Like, go around. If you're in that much of a hurry, don't pass on the right lane, go around. Trucks, we usually take the right two lanes, right? And if you have to go to the left and go, do what you got to do. But I don't even know what that guy's deal was, but it was pretty idiotic of him to drive like that. And hopefully, he doesn't continue driving like that, because he will cause some kind of an accident or have maybe even lose his license from reckless driving, Anyway, you come into these weird situations from time to time, and you got to roll with the punches, and it comes with the territory, and you have to make sure that you don't let it get to you. I didn't let it ruin my day or anything. I just thought it was stupid, and getting in a situation like that was, if I had room, I would just back up and just say, oh, what a jerk, right? But the truck behind me, I'm sure wouldn't have appreciated that. But anyway, there was nothing serious happened, and it was just an annoying situation. And driving, you need thick skin, right? You need thick skin to drive a truck professionally, and make sure that you don't let those things get to you, drivers get to you, and drive safely, because a lot of people will lose it, and then they lose their focus in driving as well, and you got to make sure you don't do that. Yeah, but that was my little drama during the week. Most of my deliveries and pickups were pretty smooth, a lot of fast in and outs, and so I got to hit the 2,500 mile mark. So it was a good week. For this week, that's pretty much it. Thank you for following me on this journey, and thank you for all your support. I hope you guys have a good week. Peace. God bless you, and yeah, we'll catch you next time. Cheers.